Happy Sunday, happy Pride Month, and happy first Sunday of June. Welcome all, welcome everyone, welcome those of you watching from another time zone, another planet, wherever you may happen to be. We're so grateful that you're watching us today. As you know, in Unity we begin everything in prayer. Let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us as we pray. With full hearts and open minds, we gather today to accept the endless possibilities of peace on earth and peace in our hearts. We acknowledge the existence of pain and injustice in the world, and we also acknowledge limitless love and our limitless being. We welcome our divine inheritance as co-creators. We know that we are already standing in the light of love, of healing, and of transformation, and so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you one-on-one. If there is anything in your heart to be held in prayer, please see Cindy in the chaplain's office after today's service. Our chaplains will also pray for you during the week. Place a purple prayer request slip in the wooden box outside the office. All prayers are confidential. We invite you to join in a prayer circle immediately after the service at the front of the sanctuary for all who want to participate in a group prayer for themselves and the world. You can still meet one-on-one with the chaplain in the office. Welcome guests. A special welcome to our guests today. Thank you so much for joining us. For more information about Unity of Lawrence and the Unity Movement, please pick up a welcome packet in the foyer. Thank you from Jay and the IDEA committee and everyone. For those of you who helped with Pride yesterday, it was a huge success. There was a lot of people. And guess what? You're going to get to do it again. And I don't mean a year from now. I mean 2 weeks. Unity will be part of the Juneteenth celebration in South Park on Saturday, June 20th. Staffing an information table to share the love and light that is Unity of Lawrence. There are sign-up sheets in the foyer for those of you who would like to represent us at the Unity table. Sign up and prepare to have a good time. Don't forget to wear your Unity t-shirts. Your Healthy Fast Food Kitchen, a transformational presentation by our own Sharon Miller, has been rescheduled to Sunday, June 28th at 3 p.m. here in the sanctuary. Come to discover how your kitchen can be the most healing room in your home. Sign up in the foyer. The Sunday Lunch Bunch will meet today following the service at Perkins, 1711 West 23rd Street. Everyone is welcome. After the service next Sunday, June 14th, we will gather downstairs for our monthly second Sunday potluck. This is a great chance to share a meal, catch up with friends, and make some new ones. We hope you will join us. Next Sunday, Reverend Sandra Campbell will be our guest speaker with a message entitled, Cultivate an Attitude of Gratitude. Reverend Sandra comes to us from Unity Urban Ministerial School and will be bringing Stephanie Bland with her to provide special music. It promises to be a special morning. Now, stand as you're able, and let's sing with Holly, Open the Eyes of My Heart.
Open the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see love. I want to see love. Open the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see love. I want to see love. To see our lives lifted up.
Thank you, Holly. And now it's time for our unity intentions. Please affirm with me unity's founding principle together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement together. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And now, finally, our Unity of Lawrence mission statement together. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. And now for our special music, Tim Behrens.
Why is everything so crystal clear? Times I can't explain. Dancing in the clouds with you, then crashing down like rain. I'm lonely, but then I'm free, overcomplicating me. The circles that I run in joy and pain. I'm dressed in blue, two sides of the same. Why is everything a struggle when I've bathed in knowing light? I know I feel you near me when the shadows cloud my sight. I'm lost, but then I'm found. Each day I hit the ground, I trust in you, my shelter and my pain. I'm dressed in blue, two sides of the same. I have run this race so long, I don't know my rights, and I can't guess your wrongs. If I could spin this tale my way, I'd flip all the coins to the sides where you stay, to the sides where you stay. I'm dressed in blue, two sides, they're the same. Why is everything so black and white when I've been trying to paint in gray, trying to let these pieces fall and sending love your way? I'm grateful, then I'm sad, dwelling on the times we had, my book of life, these pages that you grace. I'm dressed in blue, two sides, they're the same. Well, I have run this race so long, I don't know my rights, I can't guess your wrongs. If I could spin this tale my way, I'd flip all the coins to the sides where you stay, to the sides where you stay. I'm dressed in blue, two sides, they're the same. They're the same.
Thank you, Tim. Diane Silver is a Push Cart Prize nominated poet and retired journalist who serves Unity of Lawrence as lead chaplain and a member of our board. You can find her poetry and thoughts at a newsletter and podcast called Poetry and Life. Please welcome Diane Silver.
Well, thank you to whoever woo-hooed me. I'm really impressed. I really appreciate that. Thank you. As always, it is a great joy and a great honor to be here speaking to Unity of Learn, speaking to all of you in the sanctuary and speaking to all of you at home. Okay, I know you loved these when you were in school because I am going to start today with a pop quiz. Wah! You will not be graded. However, you cannot cheat. No taking out your cell phone and looking up the answer. And you watching at home, don't look it up on your device, whatever you're watching on. Here is your question. How many times approximately does your heart beat in a day? Is it 1,000 times? I'll give you 4 choices. 1,000 times, 20,000 times, 50,000 times, or more? Okay, so how many times do you think? I feel like I'm an auction. I hear 75,000, I hear 125,000. Your heart, according to scientists, beats approximately 100,000 times a day. In 1 year, that is 36.5 million times. Now, sometimes our hearts falter. Sometimes we have a little issue with them. But the sound of a beating heart is the first thing we hear before we're even born, our mother's heart. It may well be the last thing we hear before we die. Now, we all know what this is. Well, maybe I'm not doing it right. It's up on the slide. It's the sign for heart, which is the sign for love. I don't know when it started. I didn't look this up. But sometime, many years ago, maybe many centuries ago, human beings decided that our heart, our incredibly strong heart, is a great metaphor for love. Now I'm going to stop again and talk just a tiny little bit about the strength of the heart. So the heart beats 100,000 times a day. That is 36.5 million times a year. I want you to have something as a comparison for strength. Do you ever watch weightlifting in the Olympics? Okay, and the really strongest weightlifters will lift hundreds of pounds. Oh my gosh. Now, I do Olympic weightlifting as kind of a fitness thing. I have never come close to lifting even a quarter of what these people have lifted. And do you know how long Olympic weightlifters hold their lift? Now, they have to hold it till the judges tell them to put it down. So they hold the lift between 2 and 4 seconds. 2 and 4 seconds. Now, let me tell you how hard it is to lift something that is more than you've ever lifted before. I've tried this a couple times now. I don't lift as much as Olympic weightlifters do, but it doesn't matter. When you are lifting something that is beyond your ability, you've never lifted this before, and you're down there going, oh my goodness, okay, I'm going to do it. And you got to flip this thing up and push it up. It takes every ounce of energy in your body. It takes every bit of brain power to focus on your technique and to not get scared. It takes every fiber of your muscle. I think it takes every molecule in your body working in coordination to lift this thing up. Your heart beats 100,000 times a day, 36.5 million times a year. Far stronger than any gold medalist in the Olympics. When I was looking up how many times the heart beats in a day and a year, I saw many references to the heart as the strongest muscle in the body. It's certainly the most consistent. It is the strongest muscle we have. It is our symbol for love. And yet, we're walking around in this world. We're walking around in this time buying a big lie. A big lie. Now, do you know what a big lie is? Big lie is yeah. Thank you, Cheryl. A big lie is a propaganda technique where you say a lie over and over and over again. In fact, the bigger the lie, the better. You just say it over and 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 over again until people believe it, even though it's not true. We have been told over and over and over multiple times that love is weak, muscles are strong, that love is weak, guns are strong, that love is weak, hatred is strong, that love is weak, hurt is strong, that love is weak, anger is strong. That is not true. That is a big lie. Now, the kind of love I'm talking about today, I'm not talking about romantic love. Now, romantic love in all of its glory is wonderful. I am a huge fan. A huge fan. But that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the love I feel for you in here. The love we feel for each other. The love that is attached to kindness and understanding. The love we feel for our children. The love of community. The unconditional love of human beings for each other. The big lie tells us we are inherently sinful and therefore should not be loved unless we do X, Y, Z, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. The big lie tells us that only guns are powerful, that only soldiers on the street are powerful, that only money is powerful. But let me tell you about some examples of the power of love. In 1906, there was this massive earthquake in San Francisco. I bet you all heard about it. San Francisco earthquake of 1906. Yes, thank you back there. And right after the earthquake in 1906, there were these massive fires. What was not destroyed by the earthquake was destroyed by the fires. The people of San Francisco who survived were sleeping in parks. They had nothing. They were sleeping, many of them were sleeping in Golden Gate Park. And there are stories. You know, we've been told stories that after a disaster, human beings, civilization falls and human beings fall and people fall into disarray and we fight each other for food. Oh, balderdash. Absolute, complete balderdash. In 1906, which is one of the first really well-documented disasters, with a lot of reporters out there, a lot of people writing about it, people were risking their lives to dig strangers out of the rubble. A woman named Annie Holzhauser found herself sleeping out in Golden Gate Park. She had nothing. She was a hairdresser. She used to have a shop, which was completely destroyed by the earthquake. She found a way to gather people together and get some plates and get some spoons and get some vegetables and find some meat from a butcher whose meat was going bad. And she opened a soup kitchen. And by the time she got that thing going, in a few days after her entire city was destroyed, she was feeding, with the help of strangers, 200 to 300 people a day. The big lie is they tell you love doesn't exist. Balderdash, love exists. Annie had it. She also had good organizing skills. There are stories from the 1906 earthquake of people setting up water bars where they had access to water somehow because people didn't have waters. They didn't have plastic bottles of water back then. And they gave away water for free. Now, you will hear stories of in a disaster will people hike up prices for things. Nah, it may happen. But just as many times, people are giving away water for free. Stories of bakers giving away all their bread, butchers giving away all their meat, grocers giving away all their groceries. The community civilization sense was destroyed, but the community said, oh, I will help you. I will help you. Can you help me? Can we figure this out together? Here's another example. Now, this is going to sound weird when I first talk about it. 9/11. We all know what happened in 9/11. Some very misguided people flew planes into the World Trade Center towers. 2,600 people were killed on that day, on the ground, and more above. That can't be an example of love. Yes, it is. They were misguided, hurting people who flew those planes into towers. But what else happened? What else happened? We know about the firefighters who ran up the towers to try and save people. But what about the people in the towers who walked down to evacuate? 25,000 people evacuated themselves from those burning towers. There is a story of a fellow who was an accountant, was a paraplegic, who used a wheelchair. I believe he was on 60-something floor. 10 people working in shifts carried him all the way down and saved him. No one paid them any money. No one paid them a cent. They would have probably been safer themselves if they'd just run down the steps. But they stopped and helped and carried him in shifts all the way down all those long steps with the smoke coming down. There is another story, many stories of people on those steps. People said, someone injured is coming down the steps, go to the right, and everyone would step to the right and let down the injured. The big lie tells you the people shouldn't have, but they did. They did. People didn't push, people didn't shove to get ahead. They walked down and they saved themselves and they saved their friends. There is another story. We've all seen pictures, or those of us who weren't there, of what happened on the streets of Manhattan as the towers fell in this massive, ugly, churning wall of smoke and glass and steel, like a tsunami in the air, flew at people. There is a story of a fellow who is a Muslim, who was an immigrant from Pakistan, and he was running like everybody else. He was on the ground. He was running like mad, and he tripped and he fell. And running up behind him was a guy who's a Hasidic Jew. And he stops, and he bends over, and he holds out his hand, and he says, brother, there's a wall of glass coming at us. We got to get out of here. And he helps the guy up, and they run to safety. There are so many stories of that from 9/11, from every disaster that I can't even tell all of them to you. We have been sold a big lie. It is not true. The muscle of love is the strongest muscle in your body. Okay, so I'm a poet, so I have to mention something about poetry in every talk, a little bit. Do you know, it's interesting that some of the greatest love poems in the English language are written in iambic pentameter, some love sonnets. Now, iambic pentameter, iambic is the beat of the heartbeat, lub-dub. And pentameter just means in one line you go lub-dub 5 times. And a beat in a poem is you stress a syllable, stress, unstressed. So the greatest love poems in English, some of the greatest, have been written lub-dub, 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 lub-dub. Our heart keeps beating. The heart, love, is the strongest muscle in the body. One of the interesting things about the studies of disasters that historians and sociologists have found is that, again, there's the big lie that people run away and they don't help, when actually they found the exact opposite is true. They call it the need to help. People tend to run towards disasters. Now, there's the instance when a big thing has fallen down behind you when you run like heck to get away from it. True. But then, when the smoke clears, even before it's totally safe, people run towards helping other people. If one of us were to faint here, we would run to help them. If someone falls down on the street and begins bleeding, I know all of us in here would go to help. And I know a lot of other people would too. Now, I want to be clear about what the big lie says. And the people who are running this country right now are really pushing the big lie. They're saying that the only correct thing in our country, in this world, is power. So the strong survive and the weak die. So that if someone falls over on the street and they're bleeding and they're in pain, I suppose what the big lie, what that philosophy is telling us to do is kick him and walk away. Is there anybody in here who would do that? I wouldn't. No. The big lie is trying to teach us to be something we're not. Now, I think somewhere in my schooling I heard this theory that human evolution was about the strong survive. Tooth and nail, claw and whatever. The strong animal survives. I don't know if you noticed, I want to show you my teeth. Did you see any fangs? Did you see any big jagged teeth? Here are my hands. There are no claws on these hands. And even when I was 20 years old and in the peak of fitness, I could not outrun a cheetah or your average neighborhood dog. There were times when my cat got the upper hand. Human beings, back at the dawn of human existence, were not the strongest beast on the savannah. We couldn't survive by ripping other beasts apart. We couldn't survive by running away. Well, you might say, well, we have this big brain. We could outsmart them. Well, sort of, kind of. But one of us alone? Or maybe two. Or maybe even an old-fashioned nuclear family. The only way human beings survived and thrived was by working together, by making community, by realizing that we connect through our hearts, we connect through love, we connect through the power of love, not the power of the fist or the claw. Slide, please. So I thought I'd try something different and actually put the quote up here that I want to reference to. As a member of the board, we are all right now reading Emily Cady's Lessons in Truth, which I understand is the foundational text of Unity. It started as a series of articles in a magazine that Unity published, and it was published as a book exactly 130 years ago. I found this quote in my reading recently, and I thought it was very interesting. We do not have to beseech God any more than we have to beseech the sun to shine. The sun shines because it is a law of its being to shine, and it cannot help it. No more can God help pouring into us unlimited wisdom, life, power, all good, because to give is a law of God's being. Nothing can hinder God except our own lack of understanding. Now here's the key part, one of the key parts. The sun may shine ever so brightly, but if we have, through willfulness or ignorance, placed ourselves or have been placed by our progenitors in the far corner of a dark, damp, dark cellar. We get neither joy nor comfort from its shining. Then to us, the sun never shines. We do not have to beseech the sun to shine. It is its nature. We do not have to beseech, beg God to shine. We do not have to beg love to shine. It is the nature of the universe. But the big lie has put us sometimes in a dark, damp cellar. It has tried to convince us that there is no sun and that it never shines unless you have enough money or enough guns or enough whatever the heck, or enough influences or enough likes on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. The big lie tries to convince us that the cellar is reality, but it is not. The sun is shining right now. Avery, you can keep that slide up if you want. Oops, it's gone. Never mind. I want to close with a personal story. Now, I had planned on a different personal story before yesterday, but, life intervenes. So yesterday, like a lot of folks from Unity, I was at Pride at downtown Lawrence. I had a wonderful time. I loved marching in the parade. I always love marching in the parade. I love shouting at all the people. There are tons of people on the sidewalks. Thank you for coming. As a lesbian who came out in 1979, only 10 years after the Stonewall riots, were the public start of queer liberation. I love walking down the street, being out, being gay, and having people cheering me from the sidelines, people cheering everywhere. I love having my spiritual community there. Now, I had a wonderful time walking in the parade. I had a wonderful time staffing our booth, talking to people, giving away booklets, as people came by. I took a break, went with a friend. We went to get some food. And at one point, when we were hanging out under a tree in our chairs, some folks came along. People I knew. They were not people who were hateful of queers, not at all. But there were people I had history with, and boy, did I get triggered. Now, I was not impolite. I try to be nice. I don't always succeed. You will all know that. You know me. I don't always succeed. But I was nice, but man, did I get triggered. All I could think of was the times they had done me wrong in the past. All I could think of was times they'd shunned me, times I thought they'd put me down. All I could feel was the hurt and the anguish, and it was like I was filling up with bile. Not long after that, my shift was done at the Unity booth. I went home. I felt that bile. I attempted to do other things. I went, well, great, I'm going to talk about love tomorrow, and all I feel is anger and anguish. And here's the other thing I felt. Pain. Real pain. This is the worst pain I ever feel in my life. This anguish of thinking that I am alone and that people are shunning me and that I'm not good enough to be with the herd, to be with the community. And this is not BS. This is not for this talk. This is true. Real pain. I didn't shake it all night. I watched goofy TV. I watched interesting mysteries. I watched a great WNBA basketball game, and I couldn't shake it. I went to bed feeling this bile, feeling this anguish. I could not shake it. About 6 a.m. this morning, I woke up long before my alarm was set, and I lay in bed, and I felt the bile, and oh my gosh, and I felt the pain. And then something happened. I wasn't thinking about it. I was in that half-awake state where you're not quite with it yet. And I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I got laid one over the other. Memories, just flashes of memories of times when I had been in community with these people, and I had felt their love, and I had felt their kindness. And no matter what else happened, I remembered that love. And it was like a piling up of memory. Bar was gone. The pain was gone. And I went, okay, maybe I can actually talk about the muscle of love today. That is the power of love. If we only focus on the big lie, and for me personally, the worst part of the big lie is that I am shunned, I am ostracized, I am somehow a horrific person. If we only let ourselves hear the big lie, we cannot feel the sun, the warmth of love. I know I am not alone in feeling this. There is a lot for us here. I ask you today to join me in just even considering that there is a way to climb out of that cellar. There is a way to stand and feel the warmth of the sun, which is shining, the Son of God. The warmth of the Son of God, the warmth of the Son of love is shining on us, whether we believe it or not. We don't have to beg for it. We don't have to prove ourselves for it. We don't have to be good enough for it. It's there. Thank you. You all are a blessing to this earth in your own separate ways. Thank you at home. Thank you here.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Well, blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. And all your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Said you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Said you were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Perfect song. Perfect song. All right, we're now going to go into a time of meditation from that very perfect song. Have your feet on the floor, close your eyes, feel the chair underneath you. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Imagine yourself walking up some steps out of the cold and damp. It can seem hard, it can seem scary, but each step you walk towards something maybe you've never seen before, or maybe something you've forgotten. And soon we step outside and we feel the warmth of the sun that gives to us. We feel the warmth on our face. We feel the warmth on our chest, on our beating heart. We feel the warmth in every muscle of our body. We take in that warmth and we send it out to the people in this room, to the people watching at home. We glory in this love. Take a moment in silence to feel love, to feel unconditional love and acceptance in you, around you, and between all the people of this earth. It is possible, it is true, it is shining right now. Take a moment. Before you come back to this room in your mind, imagine yourself letting go of whatever hurts you now in your heart, whether it is physical or emotional. Let it seep into the earth. Let it go. Know that you are loved. You are loved beyond belief. Let it all go. And when you are ready, begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers to know that there is a good lunch in your future. And that we are blessed to live in a time of joy. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm getting lost. As our ushers come forward, we offer this prayer of gratitude. Hello, ushers. Thank you. No. Where is the part about? Okay, let's just say it. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have